I'm becoming increasingly concerned that my real-life body might be aging at the same rate as my in-game manager profile. I've just turned 50 in-game. Anyone who follows me on Twitter, which you should do, by the way, at Lollujo, will have seen that last week threw my back out, all very sore, very painful. Been walking with a limp for the last week or so now. As of today, the pain has now moved out to my hip as well. So I've been walking around work all day today, clutching my hip, moaning about my sore hip, and generally looking like I'm 33 years old. This is ridiculous. I'm getting a bit concerned about what happens when the save ends, when I'm done. Am I only going to live for as long as Non-League to Legend runs for? Hello and welcome to Season 18, Episode 4 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have our final Champions League group game against Bayern Munich and a Premier League game against Southampton. Very conscious, the last couple of episodes now, I've got to the bit where I say it's episode number, and I look down, that's me looking at my phone, so I can see what episode number it is on there. I really, professionalism is at an all-time high on this channel. Important news, see, you hear that? My phone made noises, I turned it off, not even put it on silent. I mean, it's all going wrong. I've got a new contract, though, at Man City, so there's something that's going right. They've given me a 5-year contract. I'm on £67,000 a week. I haven't even done the maths to work out what that is a year. I mean, it's safe to say it's a ridiculous amount. That means after this contract, probably never need to work again. £3.5 million a year over 5 years, so it's a £17.5 million contract. On top of where do we see how much I've already earned in my career? Is it on there? Already earned £33 million. So by the end of this Man City contract, I'll have earned £50 million in my career. I'll be 55 years old. I think that might be a retirement point. So we've got to achieve all we can achieve in the next 5 years before I retire and my son takes over back in the lower leagues. That's the plan at the moment anyway. What's been happening since you were last with me? Not a lot. I haven't played many games. Still trying to play catch up after the nonsense with the save and the feed and everything going all messed up earlier in the week. So still recording these like less than a day before they come out, which is uncharted territory for me. So I've just played a couple. We played Maccabi Tel Aviv in the Champions League. We beat them 1-0, and then we had a ridiculous 4-3 win against Villa, which did result in their manager. Is it Craig Noon? That feels like it should be a thing. He got sacked because Villa are now down in the relegation zone. But we were 4-0 up in that game and only just scraped a 4-3 in the end. They were all over us. The charge being led by Man City legend Steve Wagner, who's still, I say banging in the goals. He's not exactly. He's playing regularly for Villa and scores on occasion. But this is the league situation. So 13 games gone. We're in a bit of a breakaway group with Chelsea. We're not that far away from United, but the gap between us as a top two and Spurs and Forest, where have they come from? If they finish in the Champions League, that's ridiculous. They've had one season in the Premier League in the last 20 years, and they finish bottom. And all of a sudden, who's their manager? Eddie Howe. I mean, this man's a magician. See, 55, that's retirement age, really, in football manager terms. I don't understand how he's never really had a proper run with a big club, because I'm constantly coming up against him, and he keeps getting sacked. He was sacked by Liverpool, sacked by West Ham, went to Rotherham, was awesome, went to Spurs, got sacked, and ended up at Sheffield United, where presumably he got sacked again. Yeah, everyone keeps sacking him, but every now and again, he just puts a good team together and has a bit of a good run. So he won't make it to the end of the season at Forest now. They'll be in the Champions League spot in a month's time, 2 months' time, and he'll end up managing Liverpool or Villa or someone, or Arsenal, Everton. There's a lot of big clubs down there, actually. What a load of silliness. Anyway, we're supposed to be playing a football game today. It's not even a Premier League one either. We're playing against Bayern Munich. We've already qualified from our group. Hold on, let's have a look at the group just to show the group situation. I mean, it's very much been a two-team group this time. The other two teams may as well have not turned up. Look at that. Tel Aviv must have... They didn't beat us. They must have... Oh, they beat Lyon, of course. Couldn't figure out what's gone on there. So ourselves and Bayern have just smashed these two whenever we've played them. But Bayern did beat us earlier in the season in the away version of this tie. They beat us. Where are we? I think it was one of the first games Did it happen? Did I dream it? There it is. They only beat us. No, that was in a friendly. So we beat them 1-0 in a friendly, and then they beat us 1-0 away. So for us to finish top of the group, we need to do better than a 1-0. I think that's how it works. It's done based on performance against that team, is it not? Although, I mean, basically 2-0, we're top of the group because we'll have them on goal difference and we'll have them on aggregate. So that's what we're looking for today. So unusually from when we've already qualified, we're playing pretty much our strongest team because it is against one of Europe's top teams. We want to test ourselves. We want a confidence boosting win. We don't want to get battered. So this is the team that we're playing. Donnarumma in goal, Dolezal, Semenov, Murat and Osborne at the back. I might as well just say the usual back five because if they're fit, those five play. Koulibaly and Jans, the usual two. Just spot a pattern here. The usual one is up front. The only real change is that Ayrton did pick up that knock at the end of last episode. He's only out for 2 or 3 weeks. He's done something to his ankle ligaments or something, just a strain. So Mputu comes in on the right-hand side as an advanced playmaker. Tigana is still injured as well, so Gilberto keeps playing in the centre, and I mean he's in good form. Look at that for his last 5 games. But the big revelation is a Balsamo. I mean, does it count as a revelation when he cost you 100 million quid? But since Mputu's been in playing as a playmaker, and we've made a Balsamo the winger, he's been playing all right. I'm gonna struggle to justify bringing Ayrton back in when he's fit again, because a Balsamo is very much enjoying having the freedom to play as a winger. Thank you very much, Manager of the Month. Like all that. I don't know who Thomas Vincent is. Are we interested in him? So can we see him? 22 years old, French. Why would we want him? No, we're not interested in him. What a stupid thing. No, what a load of nonsense. Right, now, Champions League confuses me. I noticed this in the first leg. This guy, he's our player. Sergio Trotta is a Manchester City player. He's on loan at Bayern Munich, and quite frankly, he needs to come back because he's doing all right for one of the best teams in the world. But he's a Manchester City player. He's on loan there. Why? How? Why is he allowed to play against us in the Champions League? That's stupid. Does that happen in real life? I don't approve of it, and he played well in the first game as well. He's definitely trying to prove the point that he needs to come back and get into our team, which he will next season, I guess. I don't know where. I mean, he's playing in the Gilberto/Tigana role for Bayern Munich. I don't know if he'd make it in as our third choice in that position. So I think our squad's getting a bit big in the attacking. Perhaps we need to sell him. Oh, there you go, look, Balsamo with a beautiful floated free kick onto the head of Murat. We're 1-0 up. Oh, there you go. That puts us top of the group. I don't really know why. I guess on goals scored, because at the moment we're level on aggregate. We're level on goal difference as well. So I guess this must be on goals scored. But that's a beautiful little free kick. And Murat comes in, tucks it away, 1-0 up. We just need to, let's get another couple. Show that we've got to beat in the Bayern Munich and then get some of these defenders off who are tired. We don't want the likes of Semenov. And what's happening here? We don't want, what was happening there? What was Semenov even trying to do? But we don't want him playing a full game, really, because he's had 2 holidays this season already. The problem with these ageing defenders that we've got is they're all shattered the whole time. We need to inject some youth in. Steve Gilligan needs to come back from Ipswich next season and get regular rotation. Simpson needs to play more games. But I don't know. I think we need a bit of a reshuffle in defence. Where I'm saying we're a bit oversubscribed for young talent up front, midfield. At the back, we don't really have a lot of it, and we're struggling a little bit. We need to bring in some fresh faces next summer. Next summer's goal, defenders. You know for well I'm going to sign wingers, though, because, you know, I love a winger. But I used to love a fullback. Back in the days when we didn't need them, fullbacks are plenty. These days, I've got a 31-year-old centre-back playing right back and a left-back who's not actually that good and is right-footed. And I mean, our fullbacks aren't great, but can't find any better ones. I thought I'd sign the best one in the world. We all know what happened there. So I don't know, perhaps fullbacks are broken in the early 2030s. By the way, we've had the draw for the European International League. We're playing against Italy in the semi-final. I don't think we've played against Italy before, so that's going to be an interesting one. Up against Donnarumma. I'm going to try and convince him to retire from international football before then. I don't know if there's a button that allows me to do that. It might just involve me sort of talking at him about it to the screen. But we'll figure something out. It'd be nice to win that. Apparently England have won that more times than anyone else, having won it the first 2 times it was played. So, you know, reputations to uphold and all that. Oh, there we go. There goes being top of the group. This guy, Marco Kren, tried to sign him twice at City, but ended up signing Tigana instead. He basically plays in the same position as Tigana. He can do wide right and in behind the striker and a little bit in central midfield as well. And I ended up signing Tigana, and now Kren's come back to say, should have signed me, shouldn't you? Right, João Roberto's this is about the 3rd game in a row he's done nothing. It's time to drop him for a little bit again, I think, just to shake things up. So Zing can come on, and Eric's going to come on from Putu. And we're going to make him an inside forward rather than a playmaker. It does mean we're playing without a playmaker. Do we make him a playmaker? I know I've said he's been doing well as a winger, but I like having a playmaker amongst these front threes. Gilberto doesn't like doing it. Although, no, I like him pushing. Stop talking, Kev. Just do your substitution. Eric can be an inside forward. In fact, Zing could probably do it as well. I don't care who does it. Let's just get another goal and get back in the lead and hopefully go top of the group. There you go. Zing is in. A Balsamo. Oh. I mean, we should win this game. Although, I mean, stats suggest otherwise. It's been pretty even. And Bayern Munich have had the better chances. But since when did we care what the stats said? Let's bring some experience on in midfield. Lewis Bradford can come on for the last 10 minutes. Just to go and nab a Lewis Bradford box-to-box midfielder important goal the way he does. He doesn't get a lot of game time now. But I trust him in these kind of situations. So we need a corner or a free kick or something. He needs to get forward and just nick a goal. Because these 2 strikers are a pair of jokers who don't look like they're going to get anywhere near it. There you go. There's Bradford to Eric. To a Balsamo. Did that hit the post? And then the whistle went before we could... I don't think the goalkeeper held that as a rebound. Ah, well. We still qualified. Watch us get someone brilliant in the next round now. Very upsetting. Let's go and play Southampton, maybe? It was Southampton. See? I know stuff. No real reason to change the team massively. Tigana is sort of back, almost fit again, so he makes it onto the bench. Verelst would come back into the bench because he's not registered for the Champions League squad. He's now, well, he was fit again, but he's now picked up another injury for a couple of weeks. So Zing and Eric maintain their spots on the bench, and the only other change is Boma comes in for Koulibaly, again because Boma isn't registered for the Champions League, but I quite like him. Want to get him more game time. He's played 4 games for us in the Premier League so far this season, only 20, and looks like he's going to be awesome. So he's already played 6 games for Germany, so he needs more game time. So he's playing here and there, especially in games such as this one. Oh, almost smashed my watch. That wouldn't have gone down very well. Right. So look, I mean, how we're 6-1 on. I mean, the odds are getting silly. Yeah, momentum good. Is there anyone we recognise in the Southampton side? I don't think there is. Is there on the bench? No. Oh, almost. Sammy misread that. Phil Gregory, if that's who he is. He scored the goal that sent England to the Euros. Look, there it is. 1 goal, 1 cap. Came on 5 minutes before the end. Scored the goal. Didn't take him to the Euros in the end. And that's probably the only time he'll ever play for England. But if he hadn't scored in the last 5 minutes of the qualifier, we never would have went. We never would have had all the fun there. I'd have been sacked, and we wouldn't be in the semi-final of the International League next summer. So, you know, if you're not enjoying the international stuff, you have that man to blame for it. Him and his pesky goal a game international goals. Is it, I can't remember Maloney's first name. Is it James? Oh, if I can't remember my own references from earlier on in this save, it's time to call it a day. James, I feel like it's James Maloney, but I also think that might be a real life person, and don't let it be a murderer or something like that. Yeah, the right back, goal of game right back. Gregory, not a right back, goal of game. Why am I even talking? We've scored a goal. A Balsamo, playing as a winger, has done it again. He loves playing out here. So, Osborne, cross comes in. I've just voted for him in World Player of the Year, by the way, because I'd like to see him win it. Osborne with a cross in, a Balsamo, lovely little finish. And, yeah, he's starting to look more and more like he was worth £100 million. No one's worth £100 million. We've got 2 players in this team. Semenov and a Balsamo, between the 2 of them, cost nearly 250 million quid. Started at Boston. Didn't pay money for a player for the first 3 seasons of this save. I think it's all gone to my head a little bit. A Balsamo with the cross. It comes straight back out again. But Jans now picks it up. Finds Osborne again. Osborne, can he get the cross in? He does. And Balsamo gets on the end of it again. And, that's his 4th goal in 2 games playing out on the wing in the Premier League. He is loving it. And Osborne has got all 4 assists. I mean, they've basically been 4 identical goals across the 2 games as well. Ron Osborne crosses and a Balsamo gets on the end of them. I mean, if Ayrton doesn't get back into the side and a Balsamo just carries on playing as a winger for the rest of the season, Osborne's going to have Lazarov level assists by the end of the season, just because all he has to do is stand there, cross to the far post for a Balsamo to run in on. I don't know why he doesn't do it when he's playing as a playmaker. I guess it's because he doesn't get into that kind of position, but I wouldn't expect a winger to get tucked in as far as he does. He's playing more as an inside forward, but I'm not going to complain. It's getting us lots of goals. It's a bit predictable, and I imagine it's not the most fun to watch as a Man City fan. Get it out to that right back. Let him cross it in. Lad at the far post will score. But, who cares? We're 2-0 up. Top of the league? We are top of the league. There you go. The gap between us, the little breakaway 2 and everyone else is getting ever bigger. I mean, we're 15 points ahead of 5th place. I think it's safe to say we've already secured Champions League football. And we're now going into the second half. I'd like to see Balsamo get a hat-trick. He has been excellent these last few games. And I would like to see him rewarded with a match ball for him to sit on his fireplace. Probably, I might take him off though, because he's tired compared to the rest of them. Can't take him off when he's got 2 goals though, can I? I'm not that much of a monster. Who are we going to take off? We're getting to that point. João Roberto, again. This is 4-5 games in a row now? Off again. You're going to lose your place in the side if you're not careful. And Koulibaly can come on for Jans. And that'll do for now. Come on, let's get it out to Ron Osborne. Get him whipping crosses in again. Wrong side of the pitch. And Zing's just scored. His goals per game. I know he's only got 3 goals, but he doesn't play a lot. His goals per game must be looking quite impressive. Might have to have a look at that in a minute. So Murat with the nod down and Zing just in the right place. Tucks it into the far corner. Nice little finish, actually. It might be time for him to get a run in the side. We're heading into the Christmas period. Perhaps we give João Roberto a little rest for a week or 2. Give Zing a little run of games. He's fussing about the fact he's not getting the game time he wants. So perhaps we need to give him some game time before the transfer window opens. There you go. We're making him a playmaker again now. Perhaps we need to give him a little run of games so he doesn't go and stick in a transfer request at the end of December and make us down to just one option in Verelst again. Although we've got Eric, who's getting far more game time than I ever expected. So Osborne, cross comes in to Zing. I mean, Balsamo's probably not going to be impressed that Zing got there. I think Xavier Zing has pretty much made my mind up for me that he's going to start the next game because he's actually trying, and João Roberto doesn't seem bothered at the moment. That's a nice little finish. See, new stars are emerging in this episode. This episode, it's the start of a new era of young, exciting talent at Man City. The old guard are being shoved out of the way in favour of these young whippersnappers who are not going to settle just for the Premier League. They're going to go and win the Champions League. Can't beat Bayern Munich. But hopefully someone else will, and then we'll go and beat them, and we'll win the Champions League. That's the plan. And Gilberto, just proving that the old folk are still here with his 9th goal of the season. I mean, he's just brilliant, but he won't play next game. Now Tigana's fit again. Gilberto's played every game for the last month, and look how tired he is. He's on half conditioning. Played too many games. We need to use him sparingly. Get back to playing him as a deep line playmaker again. The Ruud Gullit system. He'll be playing sweeper in 2 years. It's all part of the plan. That way he's still playing for us when he's 40, just as a sweeper. That's what we all want. Right, there you go. He just won 5-0. We're top of the league again. Chelsea not... Why do we always play before Chelsea? I want to play at the same time as them because we never stay top. But, we can live. In fact, I've just seen next game is it's the Capital One Cup quarter-final. So Zing's definitely playing in that because it will be all the reserves playing. So that gives him a chance to go get a hat-trick and say, yes, I'm playing against Cardiff, Sheffield Wednesday, Forest, Derby. I mean, we're not playing against anyone really big until, I mean, really, Ipswich probably are the first team that are properly going to challenge us. And Ipswich-Chelsea, that's a double-header, isn't it? There we go. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there, subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.